Live stream has started. Restream is engaged and sending the live stream off to YouTube and Facebook. The clicks for participants this morning goes directly to the forum page, bypassing the reference to Facebook and YouTube. But the live streams will still be there because I did not want to mess something up in trying to get them stopped.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Shay, you're doing a program over at the History Museum.
Yes, ma'am.
I saw it.
Good. I hope you can make it. It should be pretty cool.
I hope so. That's a lovely scene on the screen.
We can all thank Apple.
Oh, it's not yours?
No.
Oh, okay.
He just came back from this meeting. Come on now.
Exactly.
You had a meeting out there?
No. That looks like a place I would like to go. I have not.
Yes, absolutely.
That is not my. All right, let's see if I can get this to work. All right, share my screen.
So who's already on?
Just us.
Oh, okay. I'm glad it's a short meeting. Today's my birthday, so I can hang out longer.
Oh, my God. Happy birthday, Miss Jackie.
Well, thank you. I celebrate the whole month.
Well. 39 finally.
71. But that's so kind of you, Steve.
So, you guys, I'm testing out a second device here to see if I can get the poster to.
Well, that's all right. Just stay in Hawaii. That's great. It was just something for us to think about and look at. And Winston, sooner or later, will get online, and then his face will be up there.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go get my cup of coffee then.
We'll be here.
All righty.
How about that, Steve? That's about as close as I can get. I can't get my toolbar at the bottom out of there, though. Let's see. Oh, there we go.
That's fine. Okay.
No, there
fine.
we go. Got it.
Okay.
Sweet. This one. Miss Jackie, I'm curious how you heard about the event. I just announced it yesterday.
Did you put it on the website of the forum?
I don't think I did, but Steve might have.
Well, you know what it may be is maybe it's the Black History piece comes from the History Museum. I get that. Because I saw all of their activities for this month, including that cooking class for Reconstruction. How can I see who's on? Or can I?
Layout at the top right corner.
On my phone?
Possibly. There
It's
should be a
okay.
layout.
It's okay if I don't see people. I'm good. Maybe they can't see me too.
Oh, yeah, I always can see you, Miss Jackie.
You say you can all okay. All righty.
All right.
Hi,
All right.
Winston.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Shay. Good morning, Miss Jackie.
Winston, you see what I have on the screen?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Is that
Appreciate
okay?
that. That's perfect.
All right. It's going to be hard for me to change during the forum, though. So if you need anything else,
I know.
let me know.
Okay, we're just going to keep it there. And again, I'm not expecting much of a show.
Okay.
We're going to keep it up for 15 minutes. Just kind of flesh out how next week we'll go to kind of trim most of the fat off that. We know what the topics are. We know what the more notable neighborhoods and institutions are. So if we could begin by going for some of those not as discussed communities. Again, the areas I think about most. I went to. There's an organization run by God, what is his name? Dennis. What is the last name? Pop's Passion is the organization. Pastor. What are the last names?
A pastor?
From the church. Both of them. They're both named Dennis Smith. Is it Dennis Smith? Dennis Williams.
Faith Memorial over in Lakewood.
Yeah, in Lakewood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's Dennis. Yeah. Well, his
Williams.
son has Dennis Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And his son has an organization, Pop's Passion, and their annual fundraiser is a skeet shooting contest that takes place on a farm in Waxhaw.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't go to Waxhaw much, but the first time I went to that event and driving down Providence Road, I remember seeing, I believe, 2 or 3 Black AME churches. And of course,
AME Zion.
Oh, okay, AME Zion Church. Thank you, Ms. Walt. And again, that's when the wheels get to turning, because what churches are, they have to be accessible for more than 2 or more. They're a church, so to make it convenient for people to gather, of course, churches are signs where Black people were. And I want to know more about those spaces. If again, and it doesn't have to be, of course, those 2 particular or 3 particular, but there are areas throughout Charlotte that I'm learning where Black existence took place that I would love to know more. Mallet Creek area, who are those people? And I'm sure they still have.
Polk and White.
So let's have them here. Let's talk to them. What are their memories of in that space, of that space?
Well,
These spaces.
there were 6 of them because years ago, Ella Scarborough and I worked on a committee. This was before she was ever elected, and we were trying to get monies to come into Mecklenburg County for these 6 black pockets of poverty. And we kept getting denied because Mecklenburg County was too rich. So we were not eligible for the for those particular grants. And Crestdale was one of them. Polk and White. There's one way out, North Tryon. Anyways, 6 of them. But those were pockets
And,
of poverty that were in Mecklenburg County, not in the city. So, but later
and
on, we got housing for them. We rehabbed one house, and folk would leave their house, go to that house to live while we rehabbed the house, their own house. And we just circulated around. And later on, Matthews did annex Bristol. Rod Autry, who used to be a county commission, he actually chaired that committee.
are black people still there?
It's still pretty much black. As a matter of fact, the
In
gentleman
Matthew?
the guy who did the Mecklenburg County seal lives there.
I just saw a story on him. I just saw a story on him.
Right.
And that's exact.
Well, Mr. Boyd, his daddy was on that committee.
I wonder how far he can trace their family origins to that area.
Oh, quite a bit. Now, his ex-wife, she came to the forum 2 years ago when we were talking about high schools that had closed.
And see, and again, they're deeper conversations, especially as Charlotte becomes progressively more of a transplant city. You know, the thing is, we can use as a municipality or as as a county the idea of blight removal, but yeah, we are removing communities, we are removing traditions, and I think it is responsible for Black Charlotte to make sure we don't lose these stories, because it could be us. There are spaces that still exist within the city that aren't chartered communities, but where Black people live in mass. And how do we protect these spaces without the official recognition that systems require to, I guess, if something happens for it to become a Brooklyn, to be able to live outside of its memory. And I know, again, Brooklyn is the epicenter of Blackness and deserves the recognition it receives in discussion, but so does Sterling, so does Dixie, so does the areas of Steel Creek, areas of Plato Price. I just would like to know more than Black people used to know. And I would love more context of what that means. How did it get there? How was it founded? And just to have those conversations in Black spaces amongst Black people, I think is very resourceful for Charlotte and Charlotte's future and our relationship to it.
Have you contacted the Black History group that they had that big celebration about 2 months ago over at the History Museum?
I know the
You
Black
know,
History group that's had a
right. She came, the president, she came to speak for 5 minutes after one of our meetings at the end of last year.
yes, no,
Hmm?
I remember meeting a gentleman, actually, now that you bring it up, about 4 years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, because he worked for the library. I forget his name, but he worked for the library. He was telling me a project that he was working on. I think that was a member of said group. But I did ask John O'Connor of Mecklenburg County, not Mecklenburg County, excuse me, Robinson Spangler Carolina room. But he said they slammed and under capacity, understaffed, and everything. But I thought it would be an amazing
Well,
idea
they
to.
have a lot of the history with that group. As a matter of fact, the one who is president of that group, she was one of the first Blacks to attend Winthrop. Winston, she came to a Hawena meeting. I don't know if you were there that week.
Yeah, it gets
Very
sketchy
light,
in
very
Hawena
light
meetings.
skin. Do you remember,
Yeah, I don't.
Jay?
I'm sorry, Miss Jackie. What was that?
Do you remember the lady that came to a Hawena meeting? She was the first one of the first Blacks to integrate Winthrop University, and she talked about the history group, the Black History Group. They had a luncheon. Um,
I
and,
do remember that. I do remember that. I don't call her name.
right, and Charles was the speaker. He had flown back in to be the speaker that day.
I'll find her name.
Okay. She had 3
Yeah, I don't remember that.
But all that is to say, Winston, they may have a lot
What's
of
the name of the group?
information.
I didn't even. Oh,
Give me a
right
second.
out of
Give me a
mind.
second. I'll get that stuff to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even think about. I didn't even think about that. I just thought the library and their endless resources.
They're not endless. There's a lot of stuff they don't have. They're
And
trying
even so, what do you think? Also, there's a fine line because I didn't want to institutionalize the sentiment of a conversation and force it into a space of recognition. And the example I have for this is, which gave me the idea, is talking to my father. And the origin story of how my family came to Charlotte from Lumberton, North Carolina, and led by his oldest uncle, who found
that's Robeson County.
a place. Absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
So he took that
They got some rich
trip down
history there.
74. So, but he came and lived off Cathy Road, a place where if you're young coming to Charlotte, that some people, it was a place that could be forgiving in a lot of means if you could not afford, I guess, to go to Brooklyn. But it was, it was an area that facilitated everything you need. They had a supermarket, they had a church, they had, it's a community.
Now, where's
But
Cathy?
I grew up. So, and that's the thing. I grew up in Wilmore, but
I
I
know
was born
Wilmore.
in 1981. I was born in 1981. So when we would walk to the store from the side of Wilmore I lived on, we would take Toomey Avenue, which will go from Wilmore out to Remont Avenue. And a lot of my childhood friends are from Brookhill. So there was an
WGIV.
industrial strip with exactly. Yes.
Absolutely.
So Cathy Road were the homes behind WGIV before 77. And there's still, and even as a child, there were 3 or 4. And there was one we used to say the boogeyman lived there. Yeah, it was a childhood story, but it was like one remaining house, but that someone lived in. But
I
I
got a
never
story to
saw
tell
the
you.
community. I would love to hear it.
My house that's over there in Biddleville, the backyard, you could see WGIV
In Biddleville?
in Biddleville. Yes, sir.
I can't even comprehend that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got some stories on that house then, huh?
Look, let me that is my ex-husband's house. That's the house he was not born in, but grew up in. He attended Biddleville
Wow.
Elementary School. Used to walk there.
and you can see to Remount Road.
Yes, it was a big old field, big old. You could see there's a tower over there.
Hmm. Wow. Well, needless to say, that's where Kathy Road, the community of
Okay.
Kathy Road existed. It was between
I'll find it.
Southside and Wilmore, but a space where Black people lived that was very close in proximity to where white people lived, which was Wilmore.
Mm-hmm. And
Just
there's
these Charlotte,
Brookfield.
all of these Charlotte spaces, stores, Piedmont Supermarket. There was a community on the opposite side of Southside Homes where Piedmont Supermarket was again, but you would never know it if you look at South End today. You know what? Just these stories of things that I believe have been wiped away from our collective history as Charlotteans.
And name
That
changes.
just yeah. Or name designations. Like again, I think, in the example of Kathy Road, that's just what, they called it. It was over there, Kathy Road. It wasn't a chartered, this is the space of, it's just where Black people live, and it was sufficient for how they used the land. And I guess that wasn't, you know, sufficient for city to not deem it blight and go in there and just erase it. So what did we lose in that erasure? And that erasure not only came through urban renewal, but it comes through airport renewal, roadway renewal, anything that is an advancement for the city that's large scale has a history of being a bit tough on Black communities in mass. So, if we lift up that veil of the shiny, pretty things that we have in Charlotte, what was sacrificed for us to have them, and who could share those stories of sacrifice?
Yep. It's 8:45.
8:45. So next week, that is the conversation. Again, just trim down, have your experiences. Ms. Mary, I see you. I would love to have your stories of, living in Delbrook, what that meant, because this is also an urban boom, a mid-century modern boom. We get to see the talent of Black architectural design for the first time, urban, suburban sprawl. All of that is a significant shift in Blackness, in Black lived spaces. So, what was that like? Did you know that you were a part of just this mass movement of Black folks in this space? That I would love to ask you that, and so on and so forth. So just kind of shaping out and talking about the lived experience, the humanity inside the names of neighborhoods or communities that either still here or were started and shaped the dynamic of Charlotte. We're gonna have a good time next week.
Bring your throwback.
So thank y'all.
Yeah, bring your throwback school gear if you got it.
Yeah. Bring everything. If you have pictures, you know what? Thank you, Shay. Yes, bring things. If you have pictures, I'm gonna try to bring my scanner. Let's try to make.
I have the advertisement for the neighborhood prior to them building in this area, these homes for Black people. I have the advertisement. I can send that to you.
Is that the one that sold your parents? What made your parents pick Delbrook during that time?
Now it was 1960, and I was just very young. barely here.
And if you asked
But,
they probably said, "Don't why you
there
ask about
was
grown folks'
a
business?"
Black development being developed for Black people, and it was by I can't remember the name of was it Irwin? The one who developed several, that was his thing. He developed neighborhoods for Black people. And this was one.
Northwood.
And I think that
You're right. So
the word got out, and they bought this lot over here. But I have the advertisement for it and the history and all of that. I can email that out to you, and if you want to see that.
Oh, absolutely. Even, oh, God. How long
We
did,
probably
was
need to get
Dale Brook Northwood?
more information out to people, because I mean, if you look at just those of us who are online, most of us are not from Charlotte.
That's right. That's right.
Oh yeah.
Well, it may
Well,
be helpful.
but
Sorry, Winston. I was just going to say it may be
go
helpful,
ahead,
but
please.
my obsession with the cemetery has led me to some significant research around there. And that place started as 67 acres. It was a farm. And the first thing that happened was it was subdivided for home lots. And there's a great story about how that handoff went from sort of white to black over there. And a lot of that land development was by African Americans. The 67 acres was black owned. And this was right near turn of the century, which was like damn near impossible in the rest of the world. So pretty significant things there. I'm happy to share.
Where did that 67 acres span, Shay?
Um, the boundaries are hard. It didn't quite reach
I
West
mean,
Charlotte. It didn't quite reach the
so
new West
going
Charlotte
towards
High. It encompassed Northwest School of the Arts, I believe, though. Definitely University Park Creative Arts was a part of that. It went up at least to Beatty's Ford. It may have crossed that, but I think it stopped right there at Beatty's Ford. And then on the I think it went just beyond LaSalle. Like literally,
Shay,
Food Line might have been a part of that.
Shay,
Yes.
the Keller family owned a lot of that land over there where West Charlotte is.
Mm-hmm.
The Keller, that's a white family, the Kellers, Keller. And that's why the street leading up to where Charlotte was called Keller Avenue.
Gotcha.
And at some point a few years ago, it was renamed after Dr. Weber.
So Dr. Weber Avenue used to be Keller Avenue.
Used to be Keller Avenue, and that was the Keller family that owned that land. I think it was like a big farm or something.
Okay. So do you know when the person you're talking about, Shay, had that land?
Yeah, I'll send you all that information, Winston, because I don't want to quote out of school.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what I do, a little bit I know about it is that the Schenck brothers owned that at one point. And they sold it to the Schenck brothers. Let me look into it, Winston, because I don't want to misquote here, but I'll tell you more about it. That land is also related to the JCSU land. I think the same person owned it. They sold some to JCSU and they sold some to this farm.
Family?
No, it was something different. Forget that guy's name. He was let me get you information. I don't want to misquote.
Mr. Robinson.
I know Thaddeus Tate had land too, right?
Tate Street.
Over here, because he donated, the land for Northwest. Well, West Charlotte, which will become Northwest, if I'm not mistaken.
All that stuff. So you remember that link I sent you, right, with the time machine?
Mm-hmm.
That'll literally show you what I'm talking about.
No, I don't want to be. I don't want to. I want to be resourceful and not take advantage of the time. I know we're past time, but I get excited. But so that is kind of the feeling and sentiment of the conversation we're looking to have next week. Please, you all, as facilitators, bring your curiosities as well. Bring your knowledge. Because I would love for this to be just a group effort of, at least for me, discovery in my own selfish. The things I'm looking to learn, but I know in that so many other things will be discovered by other people.
Joel, Winston, Joel Ford is on. He has a long family history in the city, and I hadn't heard him say anything yet.
Good morning. I'm just listening. Good to hear and good to see everybody.
He didn't you
Please
at one
add.
point live with your
Please
grandma,
contribute.
Joe?
Yes. Wow. I've been trying to, when you mentioned Northwest, my recollection for Northwest for my family was when my grandmother went to Northwest High School. And so that's what I recall going back during that particular time. So my family, on my father's side, was one of the first families to move into the Fairview homes. And so I still have pictures of the family's home with the potbelly stove. So I remember that aspect of it, and also remember my late uncle Yulee Ford talking about how 77
Solid waste.
was built. Yep, he was City of Charlotte Solid Waste. But I remember him, just Winston, with his look on his face, describing when 77 was being built and how it was built over our community, and how they just took that land from Black people. And so you talk about urban renewal. That was government doing what government wanted to do when government wanted to do it.
I remember when the I-77 came through our neighborhood. I think I was like either in the fourth or fifth grade, but I do remember the houses that were on um, the last street in our neighborhood. Those houses were taken, and there was a lake down there. We called that lake Lake Joe. It wasn't real big, but it was Lake Joe, and people used to fish down there. But they drained that, did all of that, and plowed through there. Uh, Plowed through there. I do remember that. And at the time, my mother was teaching at Irwin Avenue, and it was a junior high school back then. And there is a huge graveyard back there behind the school
Yes,
that
yes,
stretched all the way across, and they plowed through the graveyard. They
yes,
went through the graveyard, and if you ever go 77, you'll see on the other side over there, like behind Johnson C. Smith, you'll see the rest of the graveyard over there. Okay, because it was cut in
Mm-hmm.
half.
it was a
You know,
cemetery,
Mm.
the
and
cemetery.
that struck a nerve with the community when they demolished, bulldozed not only the homes but the graves.
Right,
And
right. And I know
that part,
my mother talked, she was teaching at Irwin at the time, and she would come home talking about how the children that were walking to school were saying that they saw bones and coffins and all this stuff. And it was just it was just
No regard.
no regard. That's a good, no respect. They just
Mm.
plowed through there. And but then that's the way they felt about Black people at the time. This was in the 60s.
that's the
How
part
do
of
we get there?
history in Charlotte. I was just going to say that's the part
How
of
do
the. Go ahead.
no after you
I was
go
just
ahead,
going to
Mr.
say that's
Ford.
the part of history. That's just the one aspect of the history of the city of Charlotte that doesn't get discussed. And I just think that those feelings, those experiences, die out with a generation that directly experienced it. And a lot of people who come here don't know that history and don't know some of the feelings that some of us have in the city of Charlotte as it relates to government and how the city has treated Black people in Charlotte.
And some of the
As a
people,
sister,
like some of the Winston, some of the last street in my neighborhood, if you go down that street, some of the houses that are still there, some of those houses, that retaining wall, that wall that goes, how they put up that wall, some of those people have just maybe 10 to 20 feet from their house
mm,
to the wall because they weren't able to, they didn't take their houses, but then they would not give them anything. You know, it was like, okay, you don't need but 10 feet between you and the highway.
interstate, and how even the development process, because a highway, that's a 20, 40 year plan. So to see that these homes of this community has also been developed and planned as a result of urban renewal to send Black people west. If they knew, when do you know 77 will also, kind of overlay? And how do those two huge developments catch each other in the crossfire? That's what I've never understood. Even with McCrory Heights in 16, like the ages of each project don't seem that far away for such a clash. And I don't know, again, well, I better not say that part out loud. So how does that happen?
That's my question because, like I said, this was in the early 60s. The neighborhood was developed. I think the first people that moved in here might have been 1960. And so just 4 or 5 short years later, that happened. And that didn't happen. That wasn't planned in 4 or 5 years to do that. Also, my husband's family moved into Oaklawn Park, which was a new neighborhood, but that was before Delbrook. That was sometime in the 50s, but that neighborhood was designed and built. I'm not sure who built it, but it was built also for Black people. It was a very middle class neighborhood, and his family was one that bought a lot and built a home there in Oaklawn Park on Waddell Street.
It was Waddell Street back then?
It still is Waddell Street.
Well, I know, but he was still working as the principal. When did this become Waddell?
That was before. That was
still
before
living in
Waddell. That was before E.E. Waddell was here.
A different family.
It was a different family.
So E.E. Waddell the school is named for Principal Waddell.
Right.
But Waddell Street Park is a completely different Waddell.
But they're down there near where they had the private school area. That's where they're from. The Black's private school. Where your dad is from.
Brisbane?
No.
Laurinburg Academy?
Yes, down that way.
Okay. You're talking about E.E. Waddell?
That family.
Yeah, now my family knew the Waddells before they moved to Charlotte. My parents were friends with E.E. Waddell and his wife, his first wife. And they lived in Albemarle, North Carolina. We used to go to Albemarle to visit them.
Now, help connect the dot for us. Hold on for a second. Which one was Senator Waddell married to?
E.E. Waddell, that's his second wife.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, his first wife was
y'all connecting some dots now?
Yeah, his first wife was Frances Waddell. And that's the one that my parents were, when they were very good friends with E.E. and and Frances.
And then Kermit's daddy and E.E.
was his twin brother. E.E. Waddell had an identical twin brother.
And that's Kermit's dad.
And that's Kermit's dad.
Now
and Waddell had Debbie Waddell. And we were the same age. We played together. And
were they educators in Albemarle? Or was he hired to do the job that he so famously held?
In Albemarle.
Was he recruited to Charlotte, or
now that I don't know. That I don't know a lot about.
But they were in
I know he was at Second Ward.
From the time of the Black school. That's what they're kind of known for. And I wanted to ask now, how much longer are we going to be on? Today's my
we ain't supposed to be on this. Oh, go ahead, Ms. Jackson.
So real quick, Winston, real quick. Kermit Waddell, I think, would be an excellent historian to have, and he could help identify and connect a lot of dots He's one of the few folks that are still around, mobile. Mine is still good. He's a little cantankerous, but
He's
Always
cantankerous as a
been.
young person.
Winston, you're not laughing. You have to know him to love him. But
I
seriously,
know
he would
you
be.
do.
I think he
Absolutely.
would be a very good presenter in this topic as it relates to Charlotte history and going forward.
Joe, you want to have a number of contact for him with you
I sure would.
that you can find
Yep.
I figured I'll get that.
But I have it. So if
And Winston, I have E.E. Waddell's daughter. I know her. If you,
Okay, I would
but
love that too.
she's
Last question.
younger. She's younger than Kermit. She probably doesn't know as much, maybe, as Kermit. But that is his daughter, Debbie.
Was there a pipeline that you know of since Ms. Jackie brought it up, of those prestigious Black boarding schools throughout the state in Charlotte? Palmer Memorial Institute, Laurinburg Academy. What's the other one? But I know, like, well-to-do Black folk from all over the country would send their children to these prestigious institutions,
Yeah, the
boarding
one
schools.
up in up near Burlington.
Mm-hmm. That's Palmer. Palmer
That's
Memorial
Palmer, yeah.
Institute.
I remember at the time my father was a principal at Reed High School in Belmont, and I just remember that at prom time they would participate in the prom. There was a connection there between Palmer and the Black high schools.
And there's the
there was
girls'
usually like
school in
one
Asheville.
Black high school in each town, or and so she would she would recruit also from those.
There's the Black girls' school in Asheville. As a matter of fact, Dot Scoggins attended there once she left Charlotte.
All right, we gotta go. All right, so
No, we don't. No, we don't. Mr. Robinson, you need to turn on your other voice and for a few minutes explain the change made for the 10th and the 3rd to combine them, and we'll put that up on the website to explain. Thank you very much.
Okay, Winston, before you do that, I'm going to get off because I got my grandchildren here and they are just tearing my house up while I'm on here, and I need to go see what they're doing.
that's what they're supposed to do.
They're doing what
School is out.
Hey.
Yep, I got the same stress in my house right now.
Oh,
I love it for y'all. I love it for you both.
I do too.
Yeah, right.
But thank you all. Listen, I can't thank you enough for giving me as much time you've given me. Next week will be exciting. We are going to have a doubleheader. Good old 2 for 1. We're going to start with Across Town because that was the event scheduled. And we're then going to follow by renewal. So 8:30, we're going to start sharp to 9:30. Then 9:35, we're going to begin renewal. And since Terry is allowing us to go to 11, we'll go to 10:35 with the discussion and then have announcements and have a good time. Again, very informal. I didn't want to have feature presentations because I wanted people in the audience feel like presenters. I want people to feel like they have agency to share the things that are close to the fondest memories that they have in these areas. So again, I look forward to next week. Hope to see you all there in person.
Winston, check the chat for the phone number.
Winston.
Yeah, I thank you so much, Joe. Yes, ma'am, Ms. McClellan.
I just wanted to ask you, can you tell us again some of the other speakers that will be there from across town?
For which one? Mr. Ron Ross, Mr. Ruben Flax, hopefully Ms. Mary Johnson, hopefully Ms. Vilma Lee. Again, a lot of things with weather, but yeah. Okay. So those are the 3 because Ron Ross is featured in the middle of the flyer. of across town. He was one of those kids being bused. And yeah, and across town, just hearing that lived experience of school desegregation. Again, when you read it the way we're taught it, one day it was like this, the other day it was like that, everything was fine.
Which
But you
Ron Ross?
realize that clean energy, rides a bike.
He's the younger one.
That's a tough question to answer, but
The other one is older.
Northwood Estates, Ron Ross.
Gotcha.
Yes, but yeah, he is the person pictured in the middle of the photo with the school bus. But to hear those stories of what they had to endure as students from going through systems changes, I would love to know the values that they felt were missing in exchange for what appeared to be better curriculum. It couldn't even be curriculum because curriculum's statewide, but you know, just going to have that conversation. So that's next week, 8:30, 9:30. We're going to have 2 for 1.
Okay. And for the
Good deal?
second one?
Okay, renewal, more of the conversation we had today.
Okay. I think Laura asked the
School-
speakers.
Schools first, community second. And so again, that I've invited people, not in the traditional sense as speakers, but will have first privileges to speak because I want it to feel communal. I would like it to feel communal, but they will be able to get, you know, a little, they will be prioritized in when the questions go out. But either way, it's going to be a good time. Either way, it's going to be very much fulfilling, and I can't wait. So, see y'all next week. All right, guys.
Absolutely. Y'all be safe.
Y'all be safe. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Hasta luego.
E2.
Happy birthday, Miss Jackie. Happy birthday to you.